What happens when 2 feet of snow, over an inch of ice, and wind chills hitting 40 below zero all hit at the exact same time across 50 major cities? You get what forecasters are calling the strongest winter storm in over a decade, and it's less than 72 hours away from unleashing absolute chaos from Texas straight through to New England. The National Weather Service was so concerned about this setup that they sent hurricane hunters into the system while it was still over the Pacific Ocean to get better data. What they found was even worse than expected. Every single major forecast model is now showing the same catastrophic pattern, which almost never happens this far out from an event. We're talking about power outages that could last over a week in some areas, travel that will be impossible for days, and cold so extreme that it becomes life-threatening within minutes of exposure. Before I break down exactly when this hits your city and what you need to do right now to prepare, drop your location in the comments so I can give you specific updates as this monster approaches. We've got an incredibly strong Arctic air mass diving south from Canada, colliding with Gulf moisture along a stationary front, creating our historic winter storm. What makes this setup particularly dangerous is the shallow layer of cold air trapped near the surface, especially across the southeast, where cold air damming against the Appalachian Mountains creates the perfect recipe for catastrophic ice. Let me walk you through the timeline. Precipitation begins Friday evening across the southern plains and works its way east through Sunday. By Saturday morning, Dallas sits right on that razor-thin line between rain and freezing rain. If temperatures drop just 1 degree colder, you're looking at a serious ice storm. Oklahoma City and Tulsa, you're looking at heavy snow transitioning to ice beginning Friday evening, with several inches of snow possible before the changeover. For Kansas City and Wichita, the main concern is heavy snow with accumulations potentially reaching 8 to 12 inches. Little Rock and Memphis are positioned for one of the worst ice storms in years. We're talking about significant accumulations that could snap tree limbs and down power lines across the metro area. Nashville could see significant snow totals. We're talking about the potential for 8 to 12 inches here, which would create major travel problems across Middle Tennessee throughout the weekend. Now, here's where things get really interesting. The Carolinas are setting up for what could be a truly historic snowfall event. Charlotte is looking at heavy snow, with current models suggesting anywhere from 8 to 14 inches possible, which would be one of the biggest snowfalls the city has seen in over a decade. Raleigh and the Research Triangle could see similar totals with 10 to 15 inches on the table, and this prolonged heavy snow would absolutely cripple the region for multiple days. Richmond, Virginia is positioned for heavy snow with 8 to 12 inches possible, which would create major disruptions along the I-95 corridor. And here's the big change. Washington, D.C. and Baltimore are now much more likely to see significant snow instead of a mix, with 6 to 10 inches looking increasingly probable. Philadelphia could be looking at 8 to 14 inches of snow, while New York City went from expecting mostly rain to now facing the possibility of 6 to 12 inches of snow. Boston and New England, you're on the northern fringe, where small changes in the track mean big differences in snowfall amounts for you. Now let's talk about what happens after the snow and ice move through, because the Arctic blast that follows this storm is going to be absolutely brutal, with some of the coldest air we've seen all season. We're looking at wind chills that could drop as low as 30 to 40 degrees below zero across the northern plains and upper Midwest. These are genuinely life-threatening conditions. Even areas like Kentucky, Tennessee, and northern Alabama are going to experience wind chills in the single digits or below zero for an extended period. That kind of cold following a major ice storm creates a really dangerous situation, where any power outages become life-threatening much faster than they normally would. So let's talk about preparation, because you have about 48 hours before this thing really gets going. And there are some critical things you need to do right now. First, stock up on essentials today, not Friday afternoon when everyone else panics. You need at least a week's worth of non-perishable food, water, and any medications. Second, prepare for power outages. Get flashlights, batteries, portable phone chargers fully charged. And if you have a generator, test it now and make sure you have fuel. Third, protect your pipes. Know where your water shutoff valve is, let faucets drip during the coldest periods, and open cabinet doors under sinks to let warm air circulate. Fourth, charge all your devices, fill your car with gas, and if you have an electric vehicle, get it fully charged, because charging stations could lose power. Fifth, bring pets inside, check on elderly neighbors, and make sure anyone who depends on electric medical equipment has a backup plan. Now, let me give you specific timing for when this hits major cities, because knowing exactly when conditions deteriorate in your area is crucial for planning. Dallas-Fort Worth, you're looking at precipitation arriving between 4 and 6 p.m. Friday, and the big question is whether it starts as rain or freezing rain. Little Rock and Memphis, freezing rain likely begins late Friday night around midnight to 2 a.m. and continues through much of Saturday, creating extremely hazardous conditions. Nashville sees precipitation developing Saturday morning between 6 and 10 a.m., with the snow versus ice question being critical. For the Carolinas, including Charlotte, Raleigh, and Greensboro, snow begins Saturday afternoon around 1 to 3 p.m. and continues heavy through Saturday night into Sunday morning. Richmond and the I-95 corridor see snow beginning Saturday evening around 6 to 8 p.m., with the heaviest snow likely occurring overnight Saturday into Sunday morning. D.C., Baltimore, and Philadelphia are looking at snow beginning late Saturday night around 10 p.m. to midnight, with heavy snow continuing through much of Sunday. New York City would see snow arriving Sunday morning around 6 to 10 a.m. based on current timing, though this could shift earlier or later. Boston and southern New England are on the late end, with precipitation arriving Sunday afternoon to evening, and the snow versus rain question still very much in play. Here's something really important. The winds are going to be a significant factor, especially along the coast and in areas seeing heavy snow. We're looking at sustained winds of 20 to 30 miles per hour, with gusts potentially reaching
all the updates over the next few days. I'll be posting multiple updates as new model runs come in, so stay tuned for the latest information on this historic winter storm. Stay safe out there, everyone. Get your preparations done now, and we'll see you in the next update as we continue tracking what could be the strongest winter storm in over a decade. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. 40 to 50 miles per hour, which creates blowing and drifting snow that reduces visibility dramatically. That wind, combined with heavy snow rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour, means we could see whiteout conditions across large areas. All right, let me address the top questions I'm seeing. Could the storm track shift back south? Absolutely, and I honestly wouldn't be shocked if tomorrow's models show some southward adjustment. How confident are we in these snow totals? I'm very confident the I-95 corridor is going to see significant snow, but whether Philadelphia gets 8 inches or 14 inches is still up in the air. Let me wrap this up with what you need to know. This is a serious, high-impact winter storm that's going to affect millions of people from Texas through New England. The forecast is still evolving, so stay updated. Prepare now while you still have time, because Friday afternoon, when everyone rushes to the stores, is going to be chaos. Have a plan for extended power outages in extreme cold, especially if you're in the ice threat zone from Texas through the Carolinas. And avoid travel from Friday evening through Sunday if at all possible, because conditions are going to range from hazardous to impossible. Drop your city in the comments so I know where everyone is watching from, and let me know if you have specific questions about your area. If this forecast breakdown was helpful, smash that like button and make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you can